I'm going to show you step by step how to build a LinkedIn content generation agent that will research and write new posts every day on Autopilot. So I'll start by just going over the workflow as a whole. So this is the completed workflow, and I'll do a quick example and then I'll show you how to build it step by step. So for a testing environment, I've just gone with a manual trigger. But if you wanted this running every day on Autopilot, you would just need to put a schedule trigger. So say it would go off every day at 5 a.m. So when you log onto your computer, you just check the spreadsheet and you've got, however many LinkedIn posts there ready to review and post. So how it works is they all get logged on a spreadsheet. So to begin with, the agent will grab all the previous posts into this workflow, and we only want to limit it to the most recent 3. Then we aggregate those 3 into one input for the idea generation agent, and then so this will come up with 3 ideas, and then we'll split it out into 3 separate searches. So this is just a web search node, and then the research comes into the AI that will write the actual post. And then so we've given it a web search tool as well, just so it can research as it's writing. And then that will get passed over to an information extractor, which is pretty much just formatting a little bit of data so we can then put it back into the Google Sheet at the end. So I'll just start with a quick example. So I'll run this again, and then I'll show you what it comes up with in the Google Sheet. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes when this is done. There we go, it's just finished. Let's have a look at the spreadsheet. So it would be these 3 most recent. So it's had a bit of trouble formatting on this one, but as you can see, it's done it on these 2. So this is probably just a little prompting thing that we'll have to fix afterwards, but let's just have a quick look at one of these. So the lead qualification one, stop losing hot prospects after business hours. And it's pretty much just showing you how to build an AI chatbot. Yeah, to set this up, pick a chatbot, connect it to your CRM. And this keeps your sales team focused on real opportunities and speeds up responses to buyers. So you can read this full thing, pause it if you want and read the full thing. But there's a few different examples in here. So if you want to read them, just pause it and have a read. But this is just a general agent. I've not set it up to be, in a specific voice or anything. So it might sound like AI, but if you were setting this up for yourself, then you'd want it sounding like you. So that's something that you'll have to figure out in the prompt, which I'll go over in a little bit. So now let's begin building it from scratch. So here we are in a brand new workflow. So I'm just going to add a manual trigger. What I was saying at the start is if you were building this and you wanted it running on Autopilot every day, you're going to want a schedule trigger. So you might have a schedule trigger and have it go off at 5 a.m. every day. So you just have it going off days and then trigger at 5 a.m. So yeah, one day in between. So every day at 5 a.m. it would go off. But for the testing environment, we're just going to have a manual trigger. And then the next one is going to be a get rows from Google Sheets. So we're just going to come down here and get rows. And if you've not set your credentials up yet, I'll just go over that really quick. So you're going to need these 3 things. So you're going to need to go over to console.cloud.google. It'll bring you over to this page. Press the menu at the top left. Go over to APIs and services. Find Google Sheets. You might have to enable it. Come over to credentials. If you've not done it before, you'll have to create new credentials here on the right. And then go into your credentials. Here's your client ID. So copy that. You're going to have to create a secret. Copy that. Paste both of those in here and there. And then you're going to need to copy this URL from n8n. Come back in here, paste it in there, save it, and then sign in and you're good to go. So once you've done that, it'll look like this, and you're going to need to create a spreadsheet. So go into Google Sheets and create it just like this. So you're going to need 4 headings: topic, category, summary, and the full post. So if you just come in here, create that just like that. I'm going to use this one I've made because you are going to need some test data as well, just to put into the model so it has something to go off and create new ideas from. So if you don't have any test data, then I would recommend just going on your LinkedIn or someone else's and just putting them into ChatGPT and getting it to give you a topic a category, a summary, and then obviously the full post is just the full post. So you're going to need maybe 3 or 5. You only really need 3. So just go with 3 posts in here to kick the workflow off to begin with. And then after that, it'll just have unlimited that'll be generated in the future. So once you've got that and you've got the spreadsheet made, so come back in here and you're going to need to choose it from the list. So mine's just LinkedIn topics, sheet 1, and leave everything else the same. Now, if we execute this, as you can see, it's pulled in all 12 of the rows here. So it's got all of these posts in at the minute, and we only want the most recent 3. So we're going to limit this to 3, and we want the last items. So if we run this now, we're only getting 3 items through. And now we've got those 3 items, we are going to need to aggregate this. So we're going to aggregate it based on all item data. So it's just going to aggregate everything from the previous node. Here we go. So now we have 1 item. So now we need a message, a model node, just a simple AI node. So coming into OpenAI, message a model, choose a model from the list. For this one, you don't need anything special. I'll just go with 4.1 mini. And then I've already done a couple of prompts, so I'll go grab them and we'll talk through them. So this is the agent from earlier. You're going to need a system and a user prompt. So I'll just copy this and then we'll have a quick look at it. So as you can see, your job is to generate 3 new research topics inside the AI industry. Each one should be just one 5 to 10 word sentence, as if you're going to use it to search the web. Guide, do not repeat any of the topics from the 3 most recent posts. Must be topics non-technical business owners would be interested in, and a few other parameters there. If you were building this for yourself, obviously you can use this as a sort of template, but you would just edit it. Maybe you do fitness, so your job is to generate 3 new topics inside the fitness industry or whatever it is. So you would just tweak this to your industry. And then you're going to want to put at the end, always output as new_research_topics. And I'll show you why we need that in a minute. So now we just need the user prompt. So you're going to want to add a message, user. We'll come back over to the other one. And then it's just, here are the 3 most recent LinkedIn posts. So we just copy that, come back over here. Put it as an expression because it's got a expression within it. So just copy this exactly as is. We're going to want to put json.stringify in front of this, just so it comes through as the entire transcript. And so the final thing on this node is you're going to want to come down to the options, add an option, and output format, and we're going to want it as JSON object. So I'll execute this and I'll show you why we want that. So as you can see, new_research_topics is there. And as you can see, it's an array, which is just another word for a list. So it's 3 separate strings, rather than if we were to take this off completely. See there, it's just text and it's 1 string, which just makes it a little bit awkward in the next node. So yeah, make sure you've put that in. So we'll run that again. There we go. And now next we want the Tavily search to be able to research each of these individually. And as you can see, it's 1 item at the minute. So we're going to want to split out these into 3. And that's why we needed it in that array, because the split out node can only split out things that are in an array. Well, it can split out other things, but in this case, it needs to split out the array. So if we then execute that, as you can see, 3 separate items. So then we're going to add the Tavily search, and I'll show you how to connect this API in a minute, but you want the search one. And keep all this the same, and the query is going to be the output from the split out. So I'll show you how to connect your Tavily API now. So you're going to want to come over to the Tavily website, make an account, it's free, and you get 1,000 free searches a month. As you can see, 1,000 credits for the month, which is more than enough to test and probably more than enough to have it live if it's just for yourself. And so this is the home page. All you need to do is copy your key right here, come into here, paste it in, and that's literally it. So it's really simple. So now let's run this step. And as you can see, it's done a load of research there for each individual one. And now once it's done this preliminary research, once it's researched them roughly, we're going to want to add another AI node, which is going to be another messenger model. And now this is going to be the actual node that writes the LinkedIn post. So I've already wrote a couple of prompts for this. You're going to want a user and a system prompt again. So I'll copy and paste them from the other one and we'll have a talk through them. So let's go grab it. So here it is. You can read through all this if you want and pause the video, but I'll just go over it quickly. So you are a professional LinkedIn writer who creates simple, factual, well-formatted posts about AI in business. You will receive several pieces of Tavily research. This information may be vague or incomplete. Treat it only to identify one topic you want to focus on and explain. You have access to a Tavily search tool and must re-research the subject. Just so that preliminary research is just so it has a couple strings to pull from in terms of a little bit more information to write the post originally. And then as it's writing the post, it can then use its Tavily tool, which we'll add in a sec, to then get more information and just flesh the post out and make it even more accurate. So the output format, this is just going to be so we can log it cleanly in the Google Sheet afterwards. It's going to be the topic, category, summary, and the full post. So 1 or 2 words on the topic, determine which category within the AI industry it falls into. 1 to 2 summary of the post, and obviously the full post. And for the full post, it's write a 120 to 150 word LinkedIn post that is aimed at non-technical people, explaining the topic in simple terms. Obviously, you'd need to write your own post because I've just put this as, or you need to write your own prompt, as I've just put this one as a LinkedIn writer for AI in business. Now you'll have to obviously edit this based on what you want it to output. I've just put, 120 to 150 words in the AI in business use case niche. So you can use this as a guide, but definitely edit it and test it. Testing is the most important thing with prompting because, putting one extra line in here can either make it do what you want, output what you want or not. So testing is the most important part about this. So this is the system prompt done. Let's move over to the user prompt, which I'll just grab from the finished product. And it's just the initial research. So same as before, we want to stringify it. And yeah, so we have all the research in a massive transcript. And you want to choose a model. And for this one, because we're writing, it's better to have a little bit more of a powerful model. I'll go with a GPT-5 mini for this. I tested the 4.1 mini and I just preferred how the 5 mini outputted. So go with that for now and execute it. Obviously, you might prefer another model. So it's all about testing because, different models interpret prompts in different ways. So this is just a test environment. So you can really go to town with it and try a load of different models because they do output a little bit differently. Oh, hang on. Yeah, before we start that off, I'll just add the Tavily tool, which I forgot to do. So that's my bad. So Tavily tool, you already connected your API to it. And the query, we're going to let the model define this. So basically what that will do is as the model is writing the LinkedIn post, it gets to decide itself what it wants to search based on what it's writing in that moment. So now it should work. I think I'm just going to start it all again and I'll be back when we've got some more clean data to go off. Just whilst that's loading, I forgot to show you how to connect your OpenAI API if you've not done that already. So it's very similar to the Tavily one. All you need is your API key. So you want to go over to openai.com, log in and come over to the API platform. Come to your account in the top, go to your profile, user API keys, and this is where you'll need to create a new secret key, copy it, come back over here, paste it in, and you're all done. So now this is complete. Let's have a look at see what it's outputted. So here it is. We've got the topic, sentiment analysis, category, sales enablement, summary. AI sentiment analysis turns customer feedback into prioritized sales leads and faster support responses. This post, so it's just gone into more of the summary and the full post. And so we'll have a look at this in the Google Sheet in a minute once we've logged it in there. But I'm just going to pin this over here. So now we need to add an information extractor node. And I will explain why in a sec. So let's just grab one of those. Basically because we're going to want to log it into a Google Sheet in this nice clean format in a minute. But for now, what the agent has outputted is this massive block of text. But because we prompted it to output in this format, topic, category, summary, and the full post, it has those headings within it. But we obviously, this is just one big block of text. It's not individual things that we can easily map onto a spreadsheet at the minute. So we want to grab an information extractor, add 4 different attributes over here, and then come over to our spreadsheet and just grab these. So we want the topic, category, summary, and the full post. So I'll just put these in here. Topic, category, summary, full post. Oop. Right, that's done. I've got those all in there, and I already writ some descriptions, so I'll just grab these and paste them. It's really just basic stuff. So for the topic, a brief description of the topic of the full post. So it's really just self-explanatory what you pop in there. And the category of the post within the AI industry. Obviously, you'll just change that to your industry. Summary, a summary of the post. And none of this is just the full post. So now if we run this, oh yeah, we just got to connect a model first. So I'll just come over here to OpenAI. 4.1 mini is absolutely fine. And now if we run this, oh yeah, we have to define what it's going to be extracting the information from. So we just grab over this text block and pop it in there. Now it will work. There we go. We have 3 items. And if we add our Google Sheet node now, we want append a row in a sheet and choose our spreadsheet from earlier. It's going to import all the different columns. And as you can see now from the information extractor node, we have nice clean JSON to just drag and drop over here into the spreadsheet. Now, if we execute this, there we go. If we come into here, we've got 3 new posts at the bottom there. So now let's do another example and see what it comes up with. So we'll come back in here, unpin this, and then run it from the start. And so it takes about a minute or 2. So I'll just cut to when it's finished. So that's complete, but just a quick one before we go look at those posts. You might be thinking at this point here, what's the point in, if we've got 3 items here, aggregating it to 1 if we're only going to split it out again? And the reason for that is when this is generating ideas, it needs the context of all 3 of these in a single one. Because if we leave this and just send it straight in, it will only have one of those posts when it's coming up with ideas. So we want it to have all 3 so it doesn't come up with ideas that are in the previous posts. So anyway, let's go have a look at the post it's come up with. So here's the 3 posts it's come up with, 3 new ones. So we've got one on chatbots. Let's read the summary. how small businesses can set up a simple AI chatbot to answer common customer questions and reduce basic support load. Actionable steps cover tool choice, content import, channel setup, fallback rules, and monitoring. So, a really valuable post right there. Transaction categorization. Let's read this one. Turn on automatic transaction categorization to reduce manual bookkeeping and improve accuracy. And it's telling you a few tools you can use, set simple rules, and approve AI suggestions. So obviously you might not want it to be AI in business, but as you can see, it's really good at doing the research and giving specific examples and writing a well-formatted post. So if you enjoyed the video and you found some value in it, I'd really appreciate it if you could give it a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, such as AI agent builds in sales and marketing and other things, then definitely subscribe. And really appreciate you watching all the way through to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.